Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort in commentary, Ashton, and this is our Lucha Underground Review, episode 24, part 1 of Ultima Lucha 2, and what an exciting and overall very fun night for Lucha Underground. What a way to start Ultima Lucha 2. That's right, 4 great matches, each for their own reasons, and I think you and I are still coming off the high. Partner, what'd you think of it?
Oh man, this show is so much fun. I feel like an actual euphoria has taken over my body, and I just don't want to do anything except for watch the show another 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, man, it was that excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, I mean, if we're really thinking about it here, this show, I think, has already laid the groundwork for some expectations for season 3, which I love. I love that forward thinking, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. So with that said, let us get right into our Lucha Underground review. And we open up, we got the music going, everybody's popping and having a great time. And we're going to start with the first round of the For a Unique Opportunity matchup. The first match, and it's the Mack versus Cage. But before the bell can even ring, we get an unexpected interruption, Ashton.
Yeah, because Dario Cueto isn't content with this just being a match.
No, he wants a repeat of last year's Ultima Lucha when Cage and the Mack had a Falls Count Anywhere match. So that's exactly what we get. A Falls Count Anywhere match between the Mack and Cage. Partner, what'd you think of this opener?
Yeah, this was... I've actually seen people calling this a match of the year contender, and even though I don't necessarily think it's on that level just because of how short it was an amazing match and easily match of the night.
I feel like, much like what they did last year at Ultima Lucha with Falls Count Anywhere, they really took advantage of the stipulation big time.
Yeah.
And I think they did a lot of fun spots. My favorite spot, personally, and then I'll field it over to you, definitely the introduction of the 3 pinatas, and one of them had a freaking wrench in it, because Lucha Underground. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. I think my personal favorite spot in this match was the frog splash from the top of the rafters, or from the top.
Oh, dude,
of the,
that was sick.
Not rafters, bleachers.
Yeah, that was absolutely sick. I love that as well. And ultimately, the finish was very well done, in my opinion. We have Cage get out a cinder block, and he's like, all right, I'm going to finish this the exact same way I finished it last year. And he's hoisting the Mack up. Mack looked exhausted. He looked tired. I thought there was no way he was going to escape it. But he ducks out, so Cage's foot eats the cinder block. And then the Mack does that like unique roll-up that we've seen him do before to Cage. And he actually pins Cage. Cage, who's been white hot virtually all season, the first one out in this tournament, the Mack gets his redemption, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, such a great story, and I'm not even surprised that Lucha Underground told it as well as they did.
I mean, to think that the story, though, would really come full circle over this span of time.
Yeah.
And even
it's like they're tying up ends that I didn't even necessarily know were still loose.
Exactly. I wouldn't have even needed them tied. Like, that's how perfect I felt like they left things originally. And then they're like, oh, no. We can do better. And they do, because that finish was so creative with Mack actually learning from his prior experience and finding a way to win. I love that. I love stuff like that. So good.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. I love it so much. But at the end of the day, Mack did win, as you said, and the redemption story is there, and then it also sets up for probably the best possible face versus face match in Lucha Underground that doesn't involve legends.
Exactly, because, and we're going to build on that point a little later, our next tournament matchup, Son of Havoc versus Texano. And again, we get an interruption from Cueto, and he more or less says, look, when I see a cowboy and a biker, in a ring together, I think of a bar fight.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want. So what we're going to have is a Boyle Heights bar fight. And you thought I was crazy with the alliteration. Yeah, and that's what we get here. What did you think of this match, dude?
I mean, this match showed to me that Son of Havoc is willing to go to just about any length to win a match.
Yes. And I love seeing that facet of his personality. I'll be honest, simply seeing Son of Havoc, his gears turning in what ways he could really punish Texano and win the match. I don't know, I may have to put this slightly above that first Falls Count Anywhere matchup. For me personally, I really enjoyed this. Son of Havoc ultimately gets the win after sending Texano's back into all the glass after he smashed a bunch of bottles with his foot. It was absolutely a brutal spot. So much glass like sticking in his back. Really well done. So Son of Havoc gets the victory. And Ashton, is there anything else you want to say about this match?
No, I think that the broken wine bottle spot might be in contention for the by God he's broken in half spot of the year reward.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
That was insane.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I'm glad Son of Havoc went over. He has such an incredible upside, and we're only going to dig into that deeper as this show goes on. But with that, we then get right into the finals. No wasted motion here. I thought the finals would be next week at the longest. I didn't think we're going to do it right now, but here we are. Son of Havoc versus the Mack. And you know what? I really enjoyed this match, Ashton. I thought it told a great story of two guys that really wanted this unique opportunity.
Yeah, man. These guys, I don't want to say they necessarily killed each other, but they were hungry out there, and it was awesome to see that.
I thought they had a great false finish at one point when Son of Havoc misses the first shooting star attempt.
Yeah, and Mack automatically got him in a cradle that had, I felt like that was it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought the Mack was actually going to win this. But Son of Havoc does bounce back, and ultimately he does hit the shooting star on the second try, and he gets the win. And business just continues to pick up from there. I love how the tempo just amplifies and amplifies and amplifies, because then we get Dario Cueto coming out with 2 briefcases in hand, and he actually reveals the contents of these briefcases, which I know you said during a commercial spot, Ashton, that's what you would have preferred because this isn't Deal or No Deal, to quote you directly.
Yeah.
And so we get to know the contents of the briefcase prior to Havoc's choice. One is $250,000. The other is a contract to automatically be in the main event of Ultima Lucha 3 for the world title. And Son of Havoc says, Dario, I don't care if you would have offered me $250 million. Ultima Lucha 3, I become Lucha Underground World Champion. And we're all ecstatic. You know I've been wanting this for Son of Havoc from Ultima Lucha 2's preview predictions. I really wanted to see him in this spot, so I'm marking out. It's a great time. But then Dario happens like a turd in a punch bowl, baby. Kills the whole mood because he says, oh, well, since you're going for that, you can have it if you win this next match. And Havoc's got this look like, come on, man. What? Why? And then it goes down. And Ashton, because I know you're a big fan of this guy, I'm going to let you take over the entirety of this next part here. What did you think of everything that went down?
Oh, dude. Well, first of all, Famous B came out, and he was wearing a new white jacket that had different designs on the sleeves that I felt like were really familiar, and I thought that I seen them before, but I didn't remember who it was that they belonged to, because I've seen Dr. Wagner twice now, but it's not gotten to the point where I have that instant recognition where I know exactly what his stuff is. So when he says it looks like you are sick to your stomach, I've got a doctor in the house, I was like, oh, Dr. Wagner Jr., that's who it was. And yeah, and then he said that's who it was, and that's who it was, and then he came out, and that's who it was, and that's who it was. John, that's who it was.
Yeah, that's who it was indeed. And, I really liked just the way this match was all set up, because this wasn't meant to be in-ring action for the sake of in-ring action. Given that Son of Havoc had already endured 2 prior bouts, this is supposed to be more emotionally resonant, because we have a legend in Mexico and Lucha Libre like Dr. Wagner, who looks to be in better shape than I'll probably attain in my entire life at 50, coming in to pick the bones to make a quick payday, as Ashton noted in live reactions quite rightly. And you've got Son of Havoc, the young competitor, the hungry competitor, thinking, I'm this close to main eventing the event of Lucha Underground. I just got to win this one match. And so I feel like this match, while it's not about the fireman's carries and the wrist locks and all that stuff, it's got the emotional dimension, and that's why this main event works. And really, I thought the finish was absolute perfection because you have Son of Havoc start to rally a comeback. He goes to the top rope. We're thinking shooting star press, but Dr. Wagner Jr. moves out of the way, hits the Michinoku driver, and gets the pinfall. So he gets the money. Famous B's freaking out. He's like, yes, I've got a winning client. Meanwhile, every Son of Havoc fan's heart just drops because the main event goes up in smoke. I thought this was brilliantly done and a great cap off to night one of Ultima Lucha Dos.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting sort of mechanic to telling a story because this show just felt like it was building and building and building and building and building all the way up to a crescendo. And then when we were supposed to get the crescendo, they basically kick you in the balls and say, maybe next time, try again.
Exactly. So with that said,
it's the storytelling equivalent to edging.
Yeah, really. Oh my God, that's painfully put, but also apt. This was just crazy. I can't believe. And you know what? Like I said earlier at the start of the show, this whole thing with Son of Havoc, he is set up for the push of a lifetime in season 3 whenever that comes out. Because now we're looking at him to scratch, to claw, to fight his way into the Ultima Lucha Tres main event.
Yeah.
And like that, if you're a Son of Havoc fan, I think season 3 is going to be especially kind to you. And that doesn't necessarily mean world titles and main event spots, but I think what it does mean guaranteed is one hell of a story. And believe me, as a Johnny Mundo fan, nothing beats a great storyline with your favorite person in there. So I think Son of Havoc fans are going to be very pleased with season 3. If I had to surmise simply from this night alone, Ultima Lucha Dos Part 1. Yeah. So, Ashton, do you have anything else you want to say? Any opinions you want to afford? Or can we move on to our next segment?
Just think that basically this entire show was incredibly entertaining. But at the end of the day, when everything kind of settles, when the dust settles and it's all over, and we're kind of looking back on hindsight, this entire episode of Ultima Lucha Dos was basically an advertisement to get people hyped for season 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And what brilliant advertising it was, you know?
And it worked. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. It was authentic. It wasn't like, guys, tune into season 3 for only $9.99. Sorry, I'm getting my promotions mixed up. It wasn't that obnoxious. So it was perfectly authentic, perfectly organic, and just sucked me right in. So with that said, let's move on to our next segment. High spots and low shots. Low shot, you know what? I'm going to say Cage is my low shot. Because he didn't even make it past the first round, and this is a guy who's had a white-hot season.
He's on the decline, man. He lost to Matanza, and he hasn't won since.
Yeah, man. That's actually a very good point, dude. Very good point indeed. So yeah, Cage is definitely my low shot.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. I hate to do this, but I have to at this point, right? My low shot is Son of Havoc.
Yeah.
He fought so hard, and he made it so far, but then all of that progress and all of that fighting and all of those wins were basically for nothing because the thing that he was supposed to have won got ripped out from his grasp right as he thought he was about to get it.
Yep, in the words of Linkin Park, in the end, it didn't even matter. Son of Havoc, man, rough night.
Yeah, he definitely... He was almost a high spot, and then that last match made him a low shot.
I know. I mean, you want to talk about a reversal of fortunes. Nobody embodies that more than Son of Havoc, but he did tweet, after it all went down, one word, revenge. So Son of Havoc will be back, folks. You can count on that. But in the meantime, my high spot is Famous B. Because holy crap, you have poor clientele like Masquerita Sagrada, and you bounce back in a major way with Dr. Wagner Jr., Famous B easily my high spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, here's the thing, man. Famous B definitely won the night, and he definitely had an amazing. I mean, the fact that he has this brand new client who, I mean, he even said in his promo he's already famous, so he doesn't really have anything that he needs to do. And in the meantime, he's going to make a big chunk of that 250K because of the fact that he has that managerial role.
Exactly.
That said, though, there's only one other person that I can say won multiple times tonight, other than the son of Havoc, who ended up losing in the end.
Right.
And that's Dario Cueto, and he's my high spot.
Oh, wow. Very good choice.
Because
Very good
he
choice.
wanted violence, and holy hell did he get violence. He got so much violence tonight. And not only that, but he clearly wanted to not give away that contract for someone to main event Ultima Lucha 3, and now he doesn't have to.
Exactly. I gotta tell you, Dario said right before Ultima Lucha Dos that Ultima Lucha makes him feel like a kid on Christmas morning. Well, if part one was the stocking stuffer, I can't wait to see what's under the tree.
Yeah.
So with that said, do you have anything else to say about the show tonight?
Oddly enough, this is probably the shortest TWitWoW ever, but I think that's about it. There's only so much you can say when you get 4 matches, no storyline really, and kind of kicking the nuts as a finish, you know?
Absolutely. So with that said, guys, this has been Lucha Underground. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. Ashton, what question do you have for our subscribers this week?
What was your match of the night, people? My personal match of the night was Cage versus Mack. Cage versus Mack. The Mack versus the Machine Part 2.
I'd have to say I really dug the bar fight. That might be my match of the night. So, guys, get down to talking in the comments below. And if you got really nothing to say, it's irrelevant. Like our latest shirt on Teespring, which you can buy. There will be a link. Go buy that shirt and be able to show your apathy towards the Roman Empire and everything else in life. Everything that is except Lucha Underground, which is amazing. But until then, guys, this was part 1. We will see you again for our NXT review. It's the Revival. It's American Alpha. 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And you can bet that TWitWoW will be here, ready, willing, and Gable. Tune in and peace out.